Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to show you why you absolutely need one of these straight taper jigs in your workshop arsenal. I don't know why I haven't had one before. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I put it together and what it does. Here we go. Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. TCC here, and on today's video, what we're going to be doing is in that box right there, we're going to be opening up the POWERTEC straight edge jig, and I'm going to show you exactly why every workshop needs this in their arsenal. So this thing on Amazon was 89 bucks. There was another brand, I think that was like 120. But again, I opted for the least expensive one on Amazon, and I hope this thing is gonna be awesome. Let me show you some reviews that are going on in Amazon and why I picked this one. Let's do it right now. Here we go. All right, guys, so here it is. This is the POWERTEC 71395 taper straight line jig for table saw with 3/4 inch wide by 3/8 inch deep miter slot. As you can see right here, $84.99. This is the least expensive one that I could find on Amazon. It's actually really good looking. A 36-inch miter base, so you can overhang your piece of wood that you want longer than that, but it gives you at least 36 inches to work with. There's a lot of good things about this that really caught my eye. Number one was the price, $84.99. Let's check out some of the features real quick. So you can see right here, somebody right here in this point, they're actually doing a taper. You could put a, whatever angle you want. So if you're doing a table leg or something along that lines, you can cut that at a nice little taper. You do lose about 3/4 of an inch of your saw blade height. So that is one downfall to using a tapering jig. You do lose a little bit of that. In the long run, probably worth it if you're just doing stuff like I'm going to be doing, which is basically pallet wood. I really want to straighten up some pallet wood because if you know, on the edges of pallet wood, they are not straight at all. Let's check out some of the reviews down here. Where are we going? 5 stars. 5 stars right here. Saved my hardwood job. That's awesome. 5 stars. Excellent product. Works really well. Easy to use and adjust. I skip the joiner half of the time, which is true. So now with a piece of pallet wood, I won't even have to worry about a joiner or anything like that because this will actually make one side of your piece of wood perfectly straight, and then you could flip it over and run it through your table saw and have it parallel on both sides. 4 stars, works well. 4 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. Bends when you tighten. We'll check that out. 4 stars, didn't work for me. Product looked good and was complete. However, this did not work for my saw. Okay. So that's a problem. This is really long. I'm not going to read everything. 2 stars. 5 stars, amazing. So there's actually a lot of good reviews. Let's go back up to Amazon and let's type in taper jig. I already have that. And check this out. We're going to see what shows up. $112. $353 for wood pickers. Now, I bet you that's super awesome, and I bet you $1 million that thing is ridiculously accurate. You do get what you pay for sometimes on things, but sometimes you can get a good deal like this, 84 bucks. All right, $84 for my first one, or $353 for my first one. I'm going with 84 bucks. If I use this thing on a daily, I would probably spend the money and maybe go that route, but I don't need to. Rockler is actually not far off from that, 99 bucks. And here's another one, Wood River taper jig, 93 bucks, really close. $89. For a little taper jig, but that's a little tiny one. I don't want that. I think that's it. So 89, cheapest one on Amazon. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, guys, so now that you saw that there was some reviews, really good reviews, and a couple 2-star reviews, you know what? The only thing to do is just try it out, test it out, and see how it goes. If this thing is garbage and doesn't work, the good thing about Amazon is you can purchase and you can return it. Let's go to that right now. Let's get it opened up, get it put together, and then we're going to run it through the table saw and see how that works. So here we go. Let's get it put together. All right, guys, before we put that together, I want to show you exactly why this thing hopefully is going to work for what I need. Let me go turn off the fan. So this is some of the pallet wood. These are just going to be some test examples that we're going to do. Pallet wood is not straight at all. Check this out. So this is one side of pallet wood. This is just garbage wood that's hanging over the edge. If you tried to run this through your table saw on one side, it will never be perfectly straight because of things like this that need to be cut off and need to go away. Same thing with this. If you actually look at the end of that board right there, this is not a straight board. It won't work. What we need to do is try to run them through the table saw. So that way, here, let me show you. So if I tried to run this through my table saw right now through the blade, you could see that gap right along the fence of my table saw. That fence gap, and then it gets tight, and then it touches right there. this will get all wonky and start to move as you're going down and sawing. And when you flip it over, this side is not going to be straight. So when you try to flip it over like that and run it through, same thing, not straight. So the idea is with the taper saw, it locks down flat. You shave off a little bit on your blade. When you flip this over, you're going to have a perfectly straight line because the taper jig is actually going to be running along this channel, which is perfectly straight. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a little bit how that works. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this piece of wood shaved up, and we are going to go ahead and get that taper jig put together. Now let's go ahead and put it together. All right guys, so we got everything laid out here. I made sure that all of our parts came and we're good. We have 100% of everything that we need. The first thing I want to do though is I want to check my bar because I don't want to move any further with this assembly if this bar does not fit or is not straight. Maybe it's bent or something. So what I think I'm going to do is just run it through my table saw just like that and check it out. Perfect. Nice and straight. Glides perfectly along the table saw without any issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this off to the side. I did review the instructions a little bit, so let's go ahead and get this thing put together. All right guys, that is it. That is the jig. This thing was super easy to put together. It took me literally maybe 5-10 minutes. Got it all together. I think I'm ready to go. The weird thing was it does tell you to trim off some of this edge, which I was kind of expecting to do, but my blade, let me show you, saw's not on. My blade on this does not reach all the way over. Now I will tell you, if I did switch this over, then it would overhang, but I really don't think I necessarily needed to do that because this gives me all the room that I need for using pallet wood just to rip it down. I think I'm gonna be totally fine where it's at right here. So I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. It actually serves its purpose. So let's go ahead and stick a piece of pallet wood that I have right there into this, and then we're gonna go ahead and rip it down and see how it does. Here we go. All right, here's my pieces right here that I got. These are all exactly 8 inches, nice and flat edge. Check this out. This is almost perfect. Like literally, they are absolutely perfectly flat. This is crazy. If I wanted to make a sign, I can now glue these up. These ends are perfectly jointed up. So now you could see that, for instance, these gaps are absolutely perfect. I can glue these up without any issues now. I can make a pallet wall or something, but this is exactly what we wanted with the jig right here. This thing is awesome. Don't fall. All right, guys, that is it. That is the POWERTEC straight edge tapering jig for your table saw. This thing is absolutely a must, especially if you're using pallet wood. You need some way to actually straighten up those edges without having to bust out your joint or anything like that. You could just clamp this down, run a bunch of them through, and you're good to go. Now, I will tell you, there is 2 disadvantages to using these, especially if you're using long pieces of pallet wood. It gets a little teeter-tottery, if you know what I mean. So when you get it in the table saw, it's very bottom heavy right now. So you have to kind of hold it and use it. You got to be very careful when you're doing this. Use your best judgment, use common sense when you're doing this. Watch where your fingers are at all times. Do not let that get away from you. But when you're sliding this through, it starts to balance out nice and evenly. It does have this handle, which is great. The only other issue is when you get to the other side, because you have to go all the way through. Hi. So watch what happens. It wants to lean forward and then get really heavy at the end. And the blade, so if you have something really long, the blade is still right at this point right here. It wants to lean forward, and then your piece that you're cutting is not getting onto the blade. So you almost have to just keep on going and push down. The only thing I could say is at the other end of your table, have another table or something like this, a roller wheel that you can put at the back side of your table saw. That way you're gonna run and have just a roller go off the edge. So highly recommend one of these as well. I might put a link in the description down below. This is the Cobalt brand, which I got from Lowe's, but yeah, this thing works really good in a pinch when you have really long boards. Just rolls right over that. And again, you have that at the end, and then it will help guide right over the edge. So you are good to go. All right, guys, that is it. That is the video of the day. If you like this video and if it helped you out, go down below, give it a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel below by hitting that big red button. Hit that black bell button. That way you get notified of all of my newest videos. And until that next video, make sure I'll do one thing. Stay awesome. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. What is it called? What's this thing called again? POWERTEC. POWERTEC. Go down and subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And until another video bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. I love this thing. I don't know why I didn't buy it earlier.